up, get him up. Get him up, get him up. Funny how you choose and pick your battles, dude. Keep saying you number one, but I'm on top, yo, it's done. Dropping styles like napalm, fake rappers think they so strong. Verses full of hype and always ready for a fight. Spontaneous, magnanimous, cause they can't get close enough to run with us. If you wanna battle, get it hard, get it raw. No emotions, I shake you until your chains fall off. What? Large, in charge, I set the bar high. You running with the big boys now. Get up, don't cry.
Welcome Gridiron community, Kenny Andres here for Gridiron Queensland TV. The broadcast ahead of you will feature the Brisbane Rhinos Colts taking on the Bayside Ravens Colts and the men's later to come. I'm here at Mitchelton, ready to get underway, but before we kick to the coverage, I caught up with the coaches. Let's hear what they had to say. Coach Harkness, mate, second year at the helm. You've had a bit of help. Over the off-season, you did an internship with Hawaii. Tell me, that's surely prepared you a little better for this year?
Oh yeah, that was like the best experience of my life. I learned heaps over there, so it was really good to learn plays and learned a little interest to big-time football, so it was really good for us, yeah.
Mate, obviously I'm sure you have a couple of returning guys. It was a bit of a building year for you last year. You got to the playoffs, but obviously you bowed out. Who are the couple of the guys that you're looking forward to returning?
Oh yeah, we got some good returners, especially in the D-line and the O-line. They're good returners, so it sets the foundation. We still got a lot of new guys and guys who have played before at other clubs, so that helps with having the experience. But they weren't used to the training we were doing when they first came down, and now they are, so it's all good.
Mate, just like last year, you've had the opportunity. You guys had a bye in week 1, and you had a chance to go out and scout your this week's opposition in the Bayside Ravens. Disadvantage or advantage having that extra week?
I'd say it's probably an advantage in the long-term run because we're able to see how they play, what sort of tendencies they have and little things we can pick up on that the other teams don't have towards us, so they don't know how we're going to play this year because we're completely different to last year in our style of football. So we're going to try and shock them a little bit.
As far as preparation. All right, apologies there to Sam Harkness. We will get to those interviews at halftime because it turns out we're kicking off early here at Franklin Oval in Mitchelton, home of the Brisbane Rhinos. Week 2 here for Gridiron Queensland TV, of course, as usual. Same voice you've always heard. Kenny Andres bringing the action. Mike Jones, I will introduce him soon, but here goes the Rhinos on the opening kickoff. They have opted to receive. They'll be running left to right on your screen, and certainly aren't they running for their first play of the 2018 season for them, obviously coming off the week 1 bye. It's a decent kick return, spotting them at half-time. Let's take a look at that again.
Great return. Good way to start the game.
And that was DeVries getting amongst their head. And I will take a formal welcome and hello to Mike Jones.
Hello, Kenny. Hello, Gridiron Queensland. Good to be back in the booth.
Indeed, you're still a player this week. Obviously, the unfortunate, and I will apologise, the folding of the South Brisbane Wildcats means that you moved club and you're dressed in different colours for the first time in ever.
Yeah, it's been, 13 years and yeah. It's been a lot of fun though at the Thunder.
Over the Thunder. Well, today you are colour commentator for Gridiron Queensland TV with 2 big matchups between the Brisbane Rhinos and the Bayside Ravens ahead of you. Dropping back, Rhinos on the attack, and that was a short completion there between the Brisbane Rhinos quarterback Mitchell Bradford completing to a wide receiver Enoch Inoki.
Good way to start the game though. Nice short pass. Try to get the tempo moving for these guys.
And I think that's something we might be looking now. Mike, have you watched many University of Hawaii games?
No, not recently.
Well, they love their short passing game, and Coach Samuel Harkness, and we might have got to it in the pre-game interview there, as we see another pass
snap.
here, very quick tempo. It's another one to Inoki, tries to reel it in with his right hand. Unfortunately, can't complete. That'll bring up a third down attempt of the day.
Got to catch those.
As we look on replay there, the failed attempt to the left-hand side, but Samuel Harkness did a 5-week coaching internship with the University of Hawaii's coaches. So
wow.
I think all we do is look at a couple of their offenses and see what he's going to bring to his Brisbane Rhinos Colts team here. Second-year head coach Samuel Harkness taking on the other end of the spectrum, a long-time head coach in Luke Chapman, current Australian Outback under-19s coach, but hasn't coached club football since he coached the Spartans back in 2014 by my count. Here we go, a reverse. Going back the other way is Schweikert, and he's got some space. He goes Schweikert and taken down by the Ravens defensive back in Josh Perrin, but they pick up a first down on 3rd and long.
Nice play. Good way to get in there, get the gadget play early. And Sweetheart just wrapping around, some good blocks. And they'll do it.
Picked it up. So well done there. Going to a bit of trickery in the well, what most would deem a passing down. Picks them up a first down. Bradford back at quarterback. He takes the snap. Now it's an inside give, and it's a nice tackle there
Solid contact.
by the NAM. They call it JJ, but it's Liam Bashford-Jones taking down running back Tristan Gibson.
It just feels like every year these kids are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So impressive at these development stages. So,
And just been given the depth chart. The Rhinos, one of the few teams in the league that can boast, they have a quarterback depth of 3 deep.
wow.
Right now it's starting quarterback Bradford in the game, but Dix is also a possibility coming later as he flings it long over the head, though, of Chikara Tanaka. He did have a step on him, though. Pass was just too long.
That 3-by-1 formation, it's always hard to cover as a defense. You know, he had a step on him. It's just try. You got to take those shots early. So, good play call.
Third down inside of Ravens territory. Ball on the 31-yard line. They've got approximately 8 yards to go.
And they're really spreading them out early.
And they will go to a pass this time. He's holding it low. He's looking at the rush, though. He's going to have to roll out to his right. Tries to avoid Ellis. He will
good
not.
tackle.
Ellis will take him down for a sack on third down. Here comes out the, well, I won't say the punt team, but possibly the field goal team, given it is the Brisbane Rhinos.
Going to be a big kick. I hope they have a go at it.
I think that is exactly the case. Field goal, well, it looks like the kicker is Mr. Walters.
Wow, they've aligned very far back.
Henrique Walters' ball. This is something Harkness takes a lot of pride in. Anyone who watched it, we've seen a timeout now. Oh, and it's going to be an equipment violation. He's checking over whether the holder's got knee pads, and I don't think he has. So that's why he's been sent off. So now they're going to have to go to their second.
I think it might actually be trying to get those the pants actually covering the knees.
Well, it's enough to send him off the field. So
that's right.
Here's a test. And it's on my team list.
Oh,
Oh, it's a bad snap. This is not going to be a great start. Walters is going to have to improvise. He cuts up the first 2 defenders, but taken down by Bashford-Jones. So that long field goal, well, it won't even start, let alone come to fruition, and we will see a turnover on downs.
That depth, though, of the placeholders, that's an extra 10 yards on the kick.
Yeah, well, I talked to him about Harkness about whether they believed they needed a kicker who could get that height early. He said no, they just believe they want someone who's got the accuracy and the length of it, and you can probably understand why. That's why they go back further. They try to take that height out of it and just add a few more yards to it. Anyways, the Ravens offense, who struggled a week ago, they're on the field now. Saxby hits Quinn. Quinn tries to put a stiff arm on, but he's tackled around the line of scrimmage, maybe half a yard in that. Oh, they're probably even giving him a full yard. 2nd and 9.
Nice easy throw to get the day started.
And, well, with Quinn, he's got that much length to him that he could be tackled at the line of scrimmage, just falling forward to pick up a yard, maybe even 2 by the end of it. They call that 2nd and 9.
Staying in this tight 3-by-1 formation.
Saxby, this time it's a give.
Oh,
It's the
fumble.
backup running back, Retchford. It doesn't go to plan, and Retchford on his first attempt goes horribly.
Yeah, not a good second play, but they recover.
This week, the Ravens again without Griffin, their starting running back. He is out with suspension. Last week, they had to go without second string running back Christian Retchford as well, due to I think some paperwork didn't get in. He wasn't officially on the team yet. Here he is now. He'll have to take a lot of carries, being the bell cow back for the Ravens this week. Another high snap. They're going to have to try and get that sorted. Retchford has to fix it up again. There's no one but Rhinos nearby. They pick it up, and the Rhinos, they will score first on the defense. Scooping and scoring is Jack Lowe.
Snap just straight over. They do their best. Oh no.
And look, as much as you want to credit the defense there, because you have to be there, that comes down to some of these snaps, don't you think?
Just fundamentals.
And
That's a first aspect of every single play, center quarterback exchange. If you're not getting it right, it's going to be a long day.
I don't want to be too hard on him because it's this part of the season. As far as I know, I think they actually might have a rookie center who, and that's going to happen in this side of the season. You know, you'll be a little more critical towards the back end as they send their PAT up and successfully. So the score is 7-0 in favour of the Rhinos here in this first quarter, week 2, Gridiron Queensland 2018 season. As we use the opportunity to thank our sponsors this week, the Sporting Globe, a fantastic place to watch football, enjoy your beverages and eat your wings and all your football goodness. They're at Chermside, but you can find out all your Sporting Globe goodness at sportingglobe.com.au/grand final. There will be, I'm sure, all the Sporting Globes around Southeast Queensland will be pumping with both the AFL and NRL grand finals upcoming.
Might drop in tonight, hey?
I think we will, mate. We're on a bye week, mate.
Yeah. Enjoy it while I can.
Right, so not the start the Bayside Romans would want offensively. They'll have to now try to play catch up with 7 points now on the other side of the scoreboard. But for the Rhinos, I think you're pretty excited if your defense can get you on the board there. It actually takes a little bit of pressure off your offense there, especially with second-year quarterback Mitch Bradford.
Yeah, I always feel this is a critical drive as well if you're trying to respond with score as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the Ravens go trying to get down there.
Back to return is Retchford, and it'll go to him. DeVries was a kick return.
Oh, I thought that might have stayed in there.
I thought that would stay in. We're a bit far from here, but it looks like it's going out, so the Ravens will get the opportunity to either take a re-kick or take some decent starting field position. But the Rhinos would want to be careful. The Ravens, as I said a week ago, Jared DeVries, the lone scorer against the Stingrays, came from a kick return touchdown from the man wearing number 2. Jared DeVries, the Australian wide receiver and now kick returner.
I haven't had too much of a chance to watch the Colt Ravens, but looks like a lot of new guys. Is that the case?
Certainly is. Obviously, the biggest loss probably is was last year's quarterback Joe Cox, but Saxby's come across from the Logan City Bears system, or Bengals I think it was, and he's an experienced quarterback in himself, comes from a good football lineage, as explained last year. His older brother Will Saxby was a Sun Devil a year ago. And once again, staying in the same formation. 3 wide receivers to the right, Retchford aligned left to Saxby. DeVries, the innermost receiver, Quinn outside of him. And I think that might be Higgins, who didn't play last week. He's the far side wide receiver. It'll be a reverse to DeVries now. They'll try to use his speed. The defense has a good angle on him, though. Breaks the first tackle, cutting back now, and it's a good tackle there.
Great tackle by Walters.
Yes, Henrik Walters.
He's all over the field.
Penalty markers are down, but it was a good play by the Rhinos defense not to get tricked up.
And when they're in that tight 3-by-1 formation, you can always expect it to come out to that open side of the field. I didn't think it was going to be a reverse, but
you thought
interesting play call.
It looks like it is going to be a block in the back against the Ravens. So that will, well, it was already a loss. It looks like the Rhinos, well, the Rhinos possibly could have looked to deny that, to reject that penalty there, but they'll take it. So it'll stay first down. They have been moved back another 10 yards from the original spot. So now it is 1st and 20. Saxby still in the shotgun, same formation, 3 wide receivers to the right. He will throw that way. The receiver, he would argue, I'm glad he's not arguing for pass interference there, because I think technically he's behind the line of scrimmage and he's allowed to be hit.
Defense playing very tight. They're trying to shut down that quick screen game and also the run game. So
totally. And last week, that's where the Ravens tried their best to try and generate some offense through that quick screen game. It's, most teams will try to feature a run or a quick pass to as their sort of bread and butter play. For the Ravens, it seems to be
That's right.
a quick screen out to the trip side. And now we're finally seeing a bit of variance. They're going to do the trip side to the left. Same formation, just flipped. Saxby. He's looking left. He'll throw the left. Another screen to DeVries. DeVries runs into his man Walters again. And that's going to be an ongoing battle today, I think.
Great tackle. He reads it almost instantly. Straight in there. Sheds a block.
Walters,
Great play.
I think we might have an interview with him at halftime. Came along from the Cougar system. Obviously, the Cougars not having a team this year either. So just like almost all divisions, we're seeing a lot of talent filter into the teams remaining, which is disappointing to see the lack of teams in the league this year. But as I mentioned last week, it's a bit of an upside to have so many talented players in such a tight competition.
What I'm finding personally at the Funder is we're seeing this cross-pollination between football cultures, and we're actually getting the best out of it. All these ideas are coming together. It's actually making the quality of football much, much better.
And hopefully, it's one of those things, want these teams eventually split back out again, however long that may be. Pass to Quinn, though, in the meantime, and he's taken down. Right now, completing passes to the Ravens, but just unable to get a whole lot of productivity out of it.
Just a quick out route from the slot. Easy completion.
And,
just not the yards they need.
But yes, once eventually the teams come back in, whether that's through manpower or just the right people in charge, the more people in charge, hopefully that sort of built football knowledge and ability base, hopefully that sticks with it and
exactly
sort of spreads back out.
The key is just trying to keep as many people in this game as we can.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we get more teams down the track, great. But for now, as long as we got football on our screens, on Facebook, it's beautiful.
Indeed. All right, coming in now. Missing alignment on that punt opportunity. That was third down. The down just passed. So here comes Higgins to kick it away. He'll get a good punt to it. Into the arms, though, of Tanaka. Tanaka's met immediately, though. Good kick coverage there from David Christie.
Great coverage. Flies down there. Good punt as well. Holds it up a little bit. Allows the punt coverage to get down there.
So Higgins, as I said, absent last week. It looks like he is the preferred punter. Last week it was Saxby, the quarterback, which gave them the option to run some fakes out of it, though. But it is always nice when you have a specialist punter back there and can safely get you out of trouble after an unsuccessful drive.
And I hear it so much. Special teams won't always win you games, but it will lose you games if you don't do it properly.
I think you're right. Here we go, a little crossfire action in the backfield. Breaking tackles initially was Tristan Gibson, but eventually he's taken down by the Ravens defensive captain, Connor Ellis.
Great play.
And
just flies through, makes a tackle. And that's what the defense is going to have to step up here to compensate for the lack of offense right now. So if they can keep the team in the game for now, allow your offense a little bit of time to get comfortable, they'll win with a shot.
Between DeVries and Higgins and Retchford, they've definitely got points in them to base our Raven offense. I think just going to see how long it takes them to click. Bradford for Inoki again. They've completed a couple passes. Penalty markers are down, though, back near the line of scrimmage. I think that is a referee. Is that Mr. Day up there throwing flags? And it's
Looks like it
third
might
down.
be a hold.
Well, it's generally in the area of holding, as I would say. The good news about today here at Franklin Oval, here at a live stream in Brisbane, we were all worried that there was going to be torrential rain here. So we've foregone the sideline camera guy, and we've got the two high shots here. But it is a beautiful day for American football right now, even if the suns are beaming straight into our eyes as commentators. We can't ask for much better football playing conditions.
It's beautiful. I wish I was out there right now. Maybe not with the Colts, but
We'll see how the men's go. Maybe it'll might rock off for the men's game. The reverse again. Once again to Tanaka. Tanaka is going to be met by Ellis. Ellis is doing a great job moving sideline to sideline, shutting these plays down.
Great job to contain that. He's already seen that play once, and they gave up a few yards. So you start seeing that more and more and more. He makes the right read, gets outside.
Well, what was it? Rhinos practice earlier this week, and I looked at, and I'm even seeing it right now, Coach Harkness's play calling sheet, and he's got a lot of plays, a lot more than I used to back when I was calling offense. And I said, "Are you really going to run those?" And he goes, "We have the ability to run all of them." So I guess it's a question of how many he will actually run this early in the season.
How many plays did you have on your little play sheet, Kenny?
I had no more than 28, mate.
28. Run them right, and that's all you need.
Exactly right. Even 28 I thought was generous. Tanaka's down injured though. Bradford rolling out to his right. He's going to look for blocks. He's going to run this himself. He's pointing and leading traffic. Guess who's there to make the stop again? Connor Ellis.
You just see Connor Ellis on the right of the screen there. He just tracks the quarterback all the way across.
He come flying out of the right side of the screen there and almost running over the poor bloke in Chikara Tanaka, who's down injured, getting attention. Little did he know that his quarterback's going to be thrown into him next play. Looks like we might be seeing end of the first quarter. So here at the end of the first, as these two teams will take a walk downfield, it is the Brisbane Rhinos leading the Bayside Ravens 7-0. Lone touchdown in the first quarter, going to Jack Lowe on a fumble return for a touchdown. Be back soon. And Jonesy, mate, look at some of those deals.
Oh, I know.
Whole bunch of grand final deals. Great on Friday night as well, just to watch your Friday night football for any of the rugby league fans out there. Back here at Frank Lind Oval, Mitchelton, on the west side of Brisbane. Inner west, I guess you'd say. It's a beautiful day as of right now. Some of these clouds do look a little bit ominous. We'll see what they produce, particularly later in the day when the men's competition will take place between these two same teams, the Brisbane Rhinos and the Bayside Ravens. Right now, it is the Rhinos punting away after a stalled drive. This punt will hang, but then sit back and will take a Raven bounce and roll back into Rhino territory, and eventually will be downed at the Rhinos 44. And of course, you'll notice I say 44 right next to the 50. 90-yard fields here in Queensland due to the rugby league fields that we're generally playing on. So once upon a time we would use 100-yard fields, but anytime you got close to the end zones, you'd have to, what's the old saying? You'd have to bring it back so we could turn the 10-yard into the end goals. I think taking that out of the game and just taking 10 yards off the field is probably better for everyone involved.
I think so. As long as it's fair for everyone, same deal.
Exactly, offsetting.
Yep.
Just involves me doing a little bit more maths when calculating the lengths of plays. 1st and 10 for the Ravens. This will be technically their first taste of Rhino territory. Saxby, Retchford now on his first carry of the game. Climbing the ladder, bouncing it outside, taken down, and a nice tackle there by Jack Lowe.
That hip mobility from the running back. It looks like he's got all the right moves. Just needs a few more blocks.
Pursuit there, and as good as it looked, though, it only netted them a couple of inches.
Excuse me, to take photos. Like, he was already like pushing everything.
2nd and 10.
2x2 formation.
Looks like we'll be getting some photos, mate. Nicky Verbacker will be coming down, one of the lead photographers of Gridiron Queensland. Pass out here to Higgins. Higgins looking for some space. He's going to rumble forward and pick up some good amount of yardage and make a much more manageable 3rd down situation here for his quarterback.
And if you're getting those sort of yards on every quick screen play, you can live with that as a coach or an offense. You just need to make sure you're actually executing every single time.
It's about getting that volume of that success, right?
That's right.
You know, you look at any teams like the New Orleans Saints and how much they use the quick screen game, use their running backs in the passing game to really make up for a strong or a lack of running game, if you can say that. I think it's more of a choice rather than a forced option nowadays. Looking to the left, the pass was intended to DeVries, flies over his head, however. That'll be incomplete, that'll bring up 4th down. I doubt they'll send the punting team, will they? Or are they going to back their defense here? Because I'm seeing a big personnel swap, and Higgins is moving back to his punting position. They will punt here on 4th down.
Yeah, this is just one of those weird spots to be in the field. For me personally, I think it's a good call. Play it safe. It's only 7-0. That deficit's it's one play. That's it.
Yeah, and I think if your defense has proven they can handle this offense so far, so
yeah, that's right.
Back yourself. I wouldn't be surprised if the next answer on the scoreboard from the Ravens is through their defense as well. Interesting. They're both gunners for the Ravens here on the right-hand side. It's a high snap. Higgins reels it in, however. Looks back, cocks the kick, and it'll take a friendly bounce, and this will end up nicely for the Ravens. It'll be down at the Rhinos 6.
That's the spot to be.
Late hits there, and flags are going to be thrown for it. Being taken down for the Ravens there.
I think it might have been McFarland with a late shot.
And it's the Ravens number 56, who I actually haven't got on a team list as of yet. That's our best guess of what this flag is. And just needed unsportsmanlike conduct. Well, we didn't get the number, but it's on the Rhinos. So that'll be an automatic first for the Ravens, and this drive is kept alive. So the Ravens will get 15 yards, which will move them well and truly closer to the Rhinos' goal line, inside the red zone, in fact. And maybe I'm wrong. It looks like their offense will get a good opportunity here to add their first score of the day.
It was a dead ball foul, so penalty taken back after the play.
Oh, dead ball. My apologies. Take that back. You're right. Dead ball, meaning the Rhinos, it was after the change of possession, meaning the Rhinos will stay in possession, but they will be marched back half distance to the goal, which ultimately is only about 3 yards. The Rhinos, with the ball, they'll try to chug up the middle with the first carry of the day. Jack Crawley, his first carry.
Just trying to run out of the backfield, give yourself a bit more space to work with.
What's interesting, there's some awfully close splits with the Rhinos' offensive line.
I wonder if that's by choice or maybe just more coaching required. I mean, they're very tight.
Well, it looks a little more standard right now, but closer to 1 foot than the typical 2 feet you'll find is coached around the league. And it'll be a nice little end around here. Taking the carry is Finn Shortman. And he gets close to a first down. As a matter of fact, he might
Looked
have
like a really good block by Luia. Little double team.
Double team and reach. And I'm just trying to look at our down counter. It is moving first. The lollipops haven't moved yet, but the down counter. Well, there it is, the official signal. First down. So the end around nets them. Fresh set. 1st and 10. Rhinos working out from a drive that started on their own 3. And it'll be under pressure. Bradford gets rid of it.
No.
Have they called that a fumble or an incomplete pass? Looks like they will mark it incomplete.
Pump fake, trying to buy time.
Liam Bashford Jones on the pursuit there. Last week got a forced fumble coming on the backside of the quarterback. Would be recovered by the Stingrays, however, but it was perfectly done.
Yeah, and I think in the nine-a-side football, off the edge is so dangerous, so difficult to block. You really need to be very smart as a coach in how you actually set up your blocking assignments.
And it's interesting, once upon a time, to help nullify that, you couldn't actually, your linebackers, your linebackers couldn't be inside the feet of the defensive lineman.
Oh wow, yeah. I remember back. I remember back in the 7-a-side days where a linebacker had to put their hand up to show if they were blitzing.
Yeah, how the game has changed. Yeah,
yeah, it has changed a lot.
Intentional grounding there. That makes sense. Quarterback can't throw the ball away to avoid a sack. Oh, hang on. I think we're going to see offsetting penalties here. So there is an intentional grounding on the play. And I'm just double checking there wasn't another penalty. So the intentional ground, the quarterback cannot throw the pass away to avoid a sack unless that pass... Yep, just getting confirmation there. Unless that pass goes past the line of scrimmage or is in catchable distance of a receiver. This pass is thrown to Walters. Walters will try to put a move on. He's
fumble
behind the line of scrimmage. Has he lost the ball? Yes, he has. Who's it recovered by? It was a bit of a mean hit to try and separate Walters from that ball. Looks like the Rhinos have recovered, though, on the recovery. Is it number 21? I think that might be one of the juniors playing up. That is Zach Nielsen. And just break down what happens here, Jonesy.
Breaks in, arms flying everywhere. Just didn't look like he had the ball secured very well. 3-by-1 formation.
Much wider trip set out to the left, though, for the Rhinos. He'll look long over the middle. Intercepted! Ravens are taking it back. They're past the 30 now.
Sam Gerard.
Gerard is going, and it's a nice pick there by the Ravens. They'll find themselves back in the Rhinos' red zone.
This is kind of what we spoke about earlier, the defense keeping the offense in the game until the offense starts to click. So, great play by Gerard.
It all looked good. You know, looking at the quarterback, it looked like it was going to be a money play, but fantastic work by the DB, the experienced DB, and Sam Gerard.
This is a spot to be.
Let's see if they. Let's see what they can do with a red zone trip here. The Ravens.
So I think we've seen quite a few quick screens. If you had a fake right now, I think it would be a perfect play call.
Even a little pump fake to the screen and try to get one of those blockers down, or apparent blockers down in the red zone, end zone, I should say. It'll be a toss to Rashford. Rashford will reverse field, cutting up now. He's looking for space, will lower the shoulder, and the tackle will eventually be made by number 15. Another one of these juniors, another Jack Lowe. Hang on. Well, it's Jack Lowe, but it's spelled Loew. So we've got two Jack Lowe's on the field. Difference made by the letter. Yeah, obviously with the new junior division being brought in, as we see an injury timeout taking place here. Your juniors can play up into Colts, just like Colts would into seniors there, as long as they play their junior game. Right now, the Rhinos have 5 juniors playing up in their Colts division. As we take another thank you to our sponsors, sportingglobe.com.au, in the grand final. Once again, take a look at their website because they've got plenty of different things going on around grand final time. I'd recommend you book your spots because they're taking restaurant bookings, and those spots will fly out fast. And what we've got on today here on live streaming Brisbane, right now you're watching the 4 p.m. Colts matchup between the Brisbane Rhinos and the Bayside Ravens. 6:30, however, is the highly anticipated matchup in the men's division between the Brisbane Rhinos and, of course, the Bayside Ravens again.
It's going to be a big game.
A lot of international talent to be looking out for, and I think both teams are really looking for an accurate sort of litmus test as to where they stand right now, both coming off huge wins in week one.
Oh, I think every team right now, in the men's, the juniors and the Colts, the women's, they're all looking for that benchmark game to figure out where they stand.
Coming off the field now is Timothy Coops, getting assisted, looking like he's got a left leg injury. So hopefully he's okay. and it's and by no means a long-term injury. But you're right, though. Even yourselves at the Thunder, you're coming off a huge victory over the Vultures.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to get back out there, but it's so difficult. I mean, the Vultures played their hardest and they played really well, but it was really difficult to set a benchmark for ourselves.
Sorry, mate, got distracted by the magpie. Just flew up into a commentary booth. Short pass out to the left to Quinn. Quinn's trying to find some space down that left-hand sideline. He'll find a couple yards, and that'll make this 3rd and approximately 5. Maybe actually make that 3rd and 6.
This Rhinos defense playing very aggressive. I love it as a defensive coach. The DBs are flying up there, taking away the outside, taking any sort of yards away, really making the Ravens offense work for this.
Seeing men's coach John Booker now patrolling the sidelines of this Colts game, trying to provide a little guidance to Sam Harkness and his coaching crew. 3rd down now, though, for the Ravens. They're going to give it to Retchford. He'll go wide. It doesn't look like he'll make the first. Well, if I was wrong the first time, I'll double down. I'll suggest that the Ravens are probably going to go for a 4th down attempt here, much closer than they were earlier. Not to my knowledge are they a field goal kicking team, so let's just see if they just load up and see what they've got on 4th down. 2-minute warning just taking place now, so this half's gone rather quickly with both these two teams.
And if they do go for it, they need to get pretty creative here. We can't see a stock standard run or a quick screen that we've already seen before.
Dare I say, if they try that quick pass again, I can't imagine the Rhinos not being alert to it. And they will give it to Connor Ellis. Ellis was in the backfield. He's trying his best to get there. Stretches out as best as he can. How close did he get, though? Well short, it appears. A good 1.5 yards. So this will be a turnover and downs.
Looks like Jack Lowe is down for the Brisbane Rhinos.
He is. He's taking his helmet. It looks like he's in a lot of pain. Holding around that arm. That looks like a collarbone injury, if you ask me.
It does not look good. Look, might be a shoulder. Just popped out.
Let's see if we'll take it back. We'll be back in a sec. Stay with us. Sporting Globe, Westfield Chermside, a big thank you to them. See Buffalo Chicken there, 22.90 cents. That's what I'm grabbing.
Yeah, stop talking about it, Kenny. I'm so hungry. That sounds so beautiful right now.
Looks like we're making a trip to the canteen soon. And a pass out here to number 23. It's a short pass to the Rhinos on their first play. Once again, working it out deep within their own territory. Jack Crawley again in on the plate. Rhinos taking a timeout here, obviously inside the 2-minute warning now. Rhinos, I believe they have their full set, depending on whether they were charged a timeout for the equipment violation earlier in the game. So,
I believe it is you're supposed to lose a timeout for not covering your knees with knee pads. So
by all means, that it could be down to one timeout now.
It looks like the Brisbane Rhinos want to go down there and score before halftime.
But it's a bit of an ugly spot here, because especially if you go to 3rd down and you haven't made any yardage, you then consider about killing as much clock as possible to make sure the Ravens don't have an opportunity to score before the half, especially when we're, probably only 1 minute 50 down in the clock, 1 minute 40. I think we've got official timing today, or thereabouts. Dave Hodgkinson trying his best, but I think they're trying to work on comms between him and the white hat at the moment. And the Ravens will fake blitz. They'll still get pressure off the edge. Bradford's going to have to run it now. He'll find a block. Can't shake. Bose, though. Bose take him out. Did he get across the sideline to stop the clock? Doesn't look like that's the case. Third down, though. They didn't quite. They're just inches short of a... Nope. They have got the first down. That run, he just crosses the yardage needed.
Bradford's got some wheels on him.
Bradford looking short. And they're going to call this play dead. Was that literally to spot the ball?
Looks
down.
like it.
Regardless, and hurry up. He stopped short.
2-by-2 formation.
Yeah, forward receivers all across the field. Looking to his right now, Bradford. Bradford might want to run again. Looks like that will be his option. Christie, good defender, as is Ellis. They take him down. I think if you're the Ravens now, you probably understand that Bradford has a tendency to, if the first read's not there, he wants to run it.
I mean, it's a really good trait for a quarterback to have, especially this young. It's just trying to get them to be patient, sit in that pocket, wait for the receiver to open up. So it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing, but...
it's a thing.
It's a thing. He's doing well.
Ravens will take a timeout now. It's interesting how you want to use this defensively there, especially on second down, whether you're going to try and, unless you're going to back your defense here to try and get a stop on downage, or whether you're just using it to try and give your defense a breather and take it out. But a timeout is taken here. We're going to take one too. Be back in a second. And we are back. Shot Sport, once again, still pushing forward for Gridiron Queensland, your leading shot equipment provider. Second down. Timeout was just taken by the Ravens. They'll pursue the run here. It's a good block on the edge here. Eventually taken down once again by Ellis, but getting more and more involved is Jack Crawley.
Heaps of space out there, just trying to get to the outside. Ellis just having a great game. He's just flying around back there.
Ellis will blitz
Blitzing
this time.
through.
Up the middle,
Whoa.
takes down the running back, keeps a hand on the quarterback, and there to finish it off is number 4 for the Ravens, Nathan Campbell.
Wow, he just flew through the middle. Straight through, disrupts everything.
Clearly got sick of going east-west, decided to go north this time. Referee's blowing that play down before things got a bit crazier. And this very well could have been the last play of the half. The sack there from Ellis, and Campbell will be the last play of the first half here. Halftime, week 2, Colts division on Gridiron Queensland TV, brought to you by live streaming Brisbane. Kenny Andres, Mike Jones. We're going to take an ad break, and we'll be back for the second half soon. Hello Gridiron Queensland community, Kenny Andres here for Gridiron Queensland TV, here to remind you that the week 2 streams from live streaming Brisbane will be going ahead here for Gridiron Queensland. We've got the Bayside Ravens back, this time against the Brisbane Rhinos, both in the Colts and men's division, starting at 4 p.m, men's at 6:30 p.m. But I'm also here at Rhinos practice tonight, just checking things out and also hearing some of the stories going around the league. And I've got one of the more interesting ones here today with Lon Tulloch here. Lon, fresh off her win in the Waggle, the Women's Australian Gridiron League. And now, unfortunately, due to the folding of the Women's Rhinos team, you're not going to let that stop you from coaching. You've jumped onto the men's as one of, from my recollection, one of the only women ever to be coaching in a men's competition.
Yeah.
Obviously, things would have been ideal if you could have been taking the women's teams, at the helm again. But look, Coach Book has given you an opportunity to coach in the men's team, and from what it looks like, they've welcomed you with open arms.
Oh yeah, they sure have. It's been a great opportunity for me to come in and representing women coaches. It's good to take that first step out and just go for it. I love it.
Obviously, it would be, I guess, odd, I'll use that word, jumping into the men's comp, but obviously the first question is are they treating you like a coach? But I've asked around and everyone's willing to take knowledge off you.
Yeah, no, they have been. I'm so honoured to be in this position, and it's good.
Are you riding the momentum you picked up from the WAGL? Obviously you guys had a third straight victory, and you're trying to use that momentum to sort of guide your coaching here in 2018?
Oh yeah, I sure am. Winning that national championship was just, it was amazing for Queensland, and I want us to pretty much dominate with our female coaches in Queensland and show the rest of Australia that we've got women here that can coach, and we want to see that throughout Australia. So
clearly learning a lot of stuff there through this new experience. What do you think you're going to take back coming from this experience coaching, man, coming under Coach Booker, that do you think you'll take back to coaching women's when you eventually return to that?
I just think having a good structure around the game, and definitely learning so much from all the knowledge that he's bringing into our club team, and I want to take that to the women's, and
And there we have it. What a story. Congratulations to Lon Tulloch, who's doing fantastic things, representing not only women's football, but women's coaching. So I'm here in defensive end for the Bayside Ravens men's, Jack Capewell. And I'm hitting you up because, mate, you had a bit of a milestone on the weekend. You landed your first ever touchdown. And look, a lot of linemen, they'll go through their entire career not scoring. You've done it here in one of your early games and early parts of your career.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of took me by surprise. I just kind of leaped at the opportunity. I saw the ball there, so was chasing that down. Absolutely. It took about 6 years, I'd say, but I got there in the end. It was all worth it. Absolutely.
Mate, let's slow-mo. Let's talk about it step by step, mate. You've got it off the snap. It's a bad snap. How big were your eyes when you saw that snap go over Paluden's head?
When I saw the snap go over Paluden's head, I thought to myself, yeah, I've definitely got the height advantage here. As soon as he turned around, he saw me, and I just kind of snatched it before he got to it. Luckily enough, I just got the ball down the field and got it in the end zone.
Mate, did you freak out when you realised I was about 60 yards ahead of you?
Yeah, I did, absolutely. Absolutely. In my head, for some reason, I thought there was about 20 yards ahead of me, but as I looked up to the pylons, I saw there was a few more yards than that, and so, I got running.
Mate, talk me through the final bits. I thought you were going to be straight to the pylon. You were going to go for the big dive in the corner. You end up cutting back and you almost get stopped at the one. How disastrous would have that been?
Yeah, that would have been a buzzkill. That would have been a buzzkill and a half. But no, I thought to myself, no, I'm not going to let him get the best of me. I thought he was going to push me out because I saw it was William Mahe chasing me down there. I know that player's got some real game, and so as soon as I saw it was him chasing me down there, I was definitely trying to cut back inside just to be sure it was getting in the end zone.
Mate, how many years is it going to be until that turns into a 60-yard touchdown, to a 70-yard touchdown? How long till we get to the 100?
Till my 40 improves, probably. Probably until my 40 improves, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think I got the speed on me quite yet.
I'd say it's a couple apple juices and a good story to turn that into 100 yards. Yeah. All right, that was a great catch-up with Jack Capewell, who was recollecting his first senior career touchdown. I'm seeing a whole bunch of different stuff here at Ravens training. Quarterback for the women's team, Chrissy Torres, is taking the definition of threading the needle.
I'm Chrissy Torres, number 8.
To all different levels, but fantastic stuff. But a new Rhinos quarterback, Christian Strong. Firstly, welcome to Australia, welcome to GQ, and what a welcome we got from you on the weekend just past.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. The whole team, they've made us imports feel welcome, like we're at home. And this past week was good. It was good, to just get that first game in, get the nerves out, the jitters out, get back into football, game speed as well, and it was a good outcome. Can't complain.
And obviously, for those who don't know, you've come from the NC2A system and in Seton University. You've played some pretty high level. What do you make of the competition here in Gridiron, Queensland so far?
So it is different. I came from Division II school, NCAA, right outside Pittsburgh at Seton Hill University, and was a 3-year starter there. And the competition level it's higher in the States, obviously, but out here there are some athletes. There actually are some good athletes that can play football. Probably in the States. They just need the right coaching, the right technique, and the fundamentals. But so far it's been good. Everything's been good so far.
obviously when a team is lucky enough to get an experienced quarterback from a NC2A system, that usually comes with a lot of knowledge. How have you been going, teaching everyone everything you've learned over the last few years as a 3-year starter?
Yeah, so since I've been here, I'm not only like the starting quarterback, but it's also a feel of like, being a coach as well out here. And a lot of the guys are older than I am. So, a 23-year-old telling them, how certain things are done, but, it just respect's earned. And I feel like, I've started to earn some respect of a lot of the guys here where, they respect, certain coaching techniques that I have, that have been instilled in me, that I've learned from the 14 years of playing football. So it's been good, and it's just everyone's getting better and learning each and every day. So
mate, obviously born in Toronto, then school via the States in Pittsburgh. We're in winter at the moment. Are you ready to handle the heat coming to Southeast Queensland later in the season?
Oh yeah, I'll be ready for it. So although I was born in Canada, I grew up down south in Florida for 13 years. So I'll be used to that heat. I'm actually I'm waiting for it. I'm not a cold fan as well. They say you can get used to winter, but I don't believe that. Winter comes out of nowhere and just hits you. Canada winters are terrible. This is very mild, but as you can see, long sleeve, got a beanie on, so I'm dressed appropriately for this. So.
Well, let's speak to your head coach, and obviously the big thing he said he wants to achieve during his time here is development. He said championships come and go, but culture that stays. What do you want to achieve, whether it's 1 or 2 seasons here? When you leave the Rhinos, when you leave Gridiron, Queensland, Australia, what are you hoping you've achieved when you depart this beautiful nation of ours?
Yeah, so I'm a firm believer in the Lord, and it's more than just football out here for me. It's just spreading the word as well out here. Being a light to others, being positivity to other guys on this team, other guys in this league, and obviously a championship is what I'm hoping for. Probably just be here for 1 season, but who knows the future? I could be here for many more to come, for all I know. So just take it day by day, just see how things plan out, but just getting better each and every day and just giving my all each and every day to not only myself, but all my brothers out here, all my teammates out here. So
Chris and Chong, mate, I appreciate your time, and I look forward to seeing you and your arm there on Saturday.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, welcome back. We're back with you now. Kenny Andres, Mike Jones. Second half action of the COLTS division here in Week 2, Gridiron Queensland 2018 season. The Rhinos playing their first game of the 2018 season. They currently lead the Ravens 7-0 after a fumble recovery touchdown in the first quarter. Since then, it's been a bit of a stalemate, Mike Jones.
Both defenses just playing really good football, making it really difficult for the offense. So I'm expecting to see a lot more great defensive play. And we'll see how the Ravens go with trying to get this offense started.
Hope you enjoyed our little halftime show there. A bunch of the collection of the interviews and highlights we compiled during the week from Week 1. Saxby looking right. He hits Higgins. Higgins gets the second touch of the day. And taken down right around the line of scrimmage. Not a whole lot of yardage there, so we'll bring up third.
And they're staying true to that quick screen game. Like we said earlier, it's just about execution. Getting the receivers getting those blocks, the ball carrier making those right reads. So they're probably a play or two away from it just taking off.
There's a lot of pressure on those receivers to make those blocks, aren't there?
That's right.
3rd and 6. Three receivers to the right once again. Saxby looking right. He'll throw over the middle there to DeVries. DeVries got it in stride. Makes the moves. Got a first down. He's still going. He puts a stiff arm on Walters, and Walters and Lowe will take him down. Multiple flags late in the play. Right now it stands as a huge play to the Jared DeVries.
Great throw. Steps into it. DeVries just does the rest here.
Well, we talked about what plays they will extrapolate off that look, that screen look. This time they throw it over the middle. Let's see how this play will stand after the flags, and it looked like it was a lot of the out-of-bounds stuff.
Looked like a bit some hands in the face mask. I'm not sure if it was offense or defense. Just waiting to hear from the referees.
Face mark on Walters. That'll tack on another 15 yards.
And this is where the Ravens want to be. Early in that second half, driving down there, doing exactly what the Rhinos did in that first half.
Let's take a look at that first once again, Jonesy. Added salt to the wounds right now because it was a huge play. And then, well, you could almost call face mask on Devries as well, but he keeps it open palm there, which is allowed offensively. And the Ravens now, they're going to take their first time out of the second half to try and talk things over. And we might do the same. Be back shortly. sportingglobe.com.au/grand final. Back here, another catch made. This time picking up his first reception of the day. Number 14, Patrick Edwards. Or Patrick Mao. He has two last names there, so I'll alternate between the two of them.
Risky pass by the quarterback. Defensive back was right there. But it didn't really look like it was a read. It was a fake to the right-hand side and he's come back to the left.
Before this next place takes place, a little update around the grounds from the games that's happened today. Junior Rhinos in the junior division, the Rhinos defeated the Raptors 34-20. Also in the junior divisions, the Spartans 44 defeated the Bengals 12. In the women's division, the reigning Sunbelt champions, they continue their defense 72-0 over the Raptors. Another huge victory for them.
Wow. Big
Devries with a catch in the flat. Turns around, Devries Walters. The matchup's still going on. And finally, in another scoreline there, the Women's Thunder, the runners-up last year, they defeated the Stingrays 34-6.
Good result. So we've heard from Ray Doherty, Stingrays, Raptors in the men's division. Currently, the Stingrays are up 6-0. So it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out after the performance last week from both teams.
Having got confirmation there, but I would imagine we'd be seeing the return of Damien Malloy. Most likely both at safety and the quarterback position, I imagine. And I'm sure he'll be playing angry. Here goes Retchford, cuts it upfield, shows some footwork, and cops a good tackle, loses the ball. It looks like it might be recovered by the Ravens, but Retchford copped a hell of a grass cut. Wow. He is not getting up.
Young Ghoulie Yuga comes flying in, drives through the tackle.
Yeah, Derek Yuga, another one of these former Cougars. And looks like he's grabbing at that left knee. Wow. Derek Yuga, he could hit, and he played in the men's divisions as a young and as a Colt. Still eligible for Colts.
I think I actually remember playing against him. He could hit.
He was hitting men.
Oh.
See, that shows you how strong this young man is. Retchford on the end of a Yuga special. Slowing it right down. Just there's nothing wrong with it.
It's a clean hit.
Quality hit.
And when you've played with men and you're hitting guys double your size, I mean, he's just going to come flying through once he gets into the Colts.
Retchford looks like he's going to be assisted off the field. So once again, the running back depth of the Ravens will be tested. Last week, it was Connor Ellis filling in at tailback when needed. They really probably wanted to keep Retchford the whole game there. And it looks like that is the case. Ellis walking in with the offensive huddle now. Looks like he will be running back number 1. It's interesting some of the faces I've seen around here. Jacob Templar, who's been punting in Europe. It looks like he's back home for a visit. And also Joe Cox, the former quarterback from both the Ravens and the Rhinos. Not playing this year. looking to academics, and that pass was threaded low. Penalty markers are down. It was intended to DeVries. It would have been a heck of a catch if he could have reeled it in, but falls incomplete with penalty markers down.
It's always such a tricky throw. He's gone to the right, back to the left. It's got to be super quick, and it's just a little low for DeVries there.
Just looking to the right to this skinny guy with a camera next to me, and it's Mr. Tim Reynolds, back to coach. He's the offensive coordinator for the men's Rhinos team. 4th down. And the offside penalty, it was the reason for the marker, so that'll give the Ravens some yardage despite an incomplete pass. So 4th and 3. Saxby looking left. He will throw for DeVries. DeVries! Oh, and a good matchup with Walters there. Walters gets hands to ball. Oh, this is a fight down this near side touchdown between DeVries and Walters.
And that's a big matchup. The whole game, these two going at it. It's just best football player wins.
DeVries had the jump there, but Walters sticks his paw up there and knocks the pass down. A turnover on downs, and the Ravens have no points.
Ravens defense needs to come out here, make a big stand if they want to stay in this game.
For their offensive trip. But you're right, they're going to have to rely on their defense. And, well, my statement from earlier, the game stands. It looks like defense is probably just as good odds to put the first points on as their offensive team. Pursuit here for the Ravens, a couple of missed tackles. Still going forward is Nelson Inoki.
He steams over Retchford, gets a few extra yards.
That is the other Retchford on the Ravens lineup. 17, Dallas Retchford, obviously Christian Retchford. Doesn't look like he will be returning today.
Are they brothers, Kenny?
I believe so. You'd know a thing or two about playing with brothers on the same team?
Yeah.
Twin brothers, in fact. 2nd down. 4.5. Head for the Rhinos. Bradford, he will hand off to Inoki again. Inoki showing some quickness and getting down that left-hand sideline. They've got a 1st down, no flags on the field. Chains will keep moving. That's a huge chunk of yardage there for the Rhinos.
And I think that's a formula right there. If they can just keep running it like that, that could be it. The Ravens really need to figure that out. They need that outside pressure, stop that run before you get those yards. And it from those last 2 plays, it comes down to fundamentals. Tackling properly, containing properly, allowing your inside players to get in there and make the play.
Indeed. Ball is now on the, pretty much on the 35. Slight motion there from the Rhinos. Trips out to the left. Line receiver, Tanaka to the right. They're going to roll to Tanaka's side. Tanaka's got a step if he can land it. They're aiming for Tanaka. He's got it. He turns around, beats his man. That is Tanaka on the grab. The Ravens trying to make something happen there. And I believe that is number 19, Christian Retchford, back on the field, which is huge news. Hello and welcome back to all our viewers. Apologies for the internet disruption there. We lost you for a bit. The only thing you missed was a blocked field goal by the Rhinos. They went for a field goal on 4th down. It was blocked. The Ravens recovered, and that's why they're back on offense. Second and 8. Saxby with Retchford back with him. Retchford back in the game after a pretty gruesome looking injury. Saxby.
Fumble.
He fumbles. I think he knocked it on Retchford. He's forced to run and he cops a shot as well. I'm going to guess that might be our man Yuga.
Wow, that's not a spot you want to be in.
And this is a play from a little while ago. That was the play that eventually brought them to 4th down. The Rhinos, a offensive drive ago, but Yuga laying the lumber in this game.
Long way to go for the Ravens.
3rd down.
Double sticks.
They completed a long 3rd down earlier in the game, but not quite as long as this. It was a pass over the middle to DeVries.
Well, I think that's something Chapman could play with. I mean, if they know DeVries is the man, set him up, try find someone else. They can't double Devery, or they can double Devery's. That leaves someone else open.
All right, now it's Devries and Walters. They'll go to Devries. It's over his head, though. Passing complete. And that'll bring up 4th down and a punting situation for the Ravens. Let's take a look at this from earlier there where Yuga came in and brought the boom. Doesn't miss.
Well, he does not miss, and that's big contact. He comes flying through. It's great to watch, and that you could coach players like that, driving through the tackle, keep the legs pumping.
Well, speaking about driving through, we're driving through this game. That's the end of the 3rd quarter now. We're going to take a quick ad break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the start of the 4th quarter here in week 2. Colts division, Ravens versus Rhinos. Rhinos score is unchanged from the, well, not even the first half, the first quarter. The Rhinos lead 7-0. A pair of failed field goals has not moved the scoreboard for the Rhinos. And the Ravens, they haven't had a whole lot going on themselves. Another shout out to our major sponsor today, the Sporting Globe at Westfield Chermside. Check out their grand final specials at sportingglobe.com.au/grand final. So now the Ravens, who had a less than productive drive, they've got 4th and double sticks. They will be punting it away. Higgins is in to do that very act. Once again, the Gunners are down the right-hand side of the field for the Ravens. Back deep to return is Walters. Let's see if his eyes beam up looking to the right side of his field. It's a short punt. It hits Devries in the back.
Bounced off a Rhinos player. Pick it up, pick it
Rhinos. Ellis, the experienced linebacker for the Ravens, was smart enough to get on it. Now, I thought it bounced off Devries. You think it's touched a Rhino. Let's see what the referees say.
We'll see what happens. This always scares me as a former special teams coordinator.
See, it's interesting. The Rhinos don't show any urgency to it because I think they believe it's off Devries as well. And we'll see what we can get. I
think you're right,
there,
Kenny.
It looks like it's hit. I think it's hit the back of Devries. Of course, if you're the Ravens, you're recovering that and you're celebrating as if it is.
You're right.
You've got to do everything to sway the referee's opinion.
Yeah. I just want to see if it hits the player's foot. It looks like it's mostly Devries.
Well, I would have been right in their ear trying to tell them that it was... Fortunately, the referees, without the aid of replay, have made the right decision here. It is 1st down Rhinos. Good hustle there by the Ravens. The temperature's starting to drop here at Franklin Oval. I'm playing a game of chicken with my co-commentator here about who will put their jacket on first. Our cameraman's already tapped out. He's got the jacket on, but no sign of rain, fortunately. Just cooler temperatures. Hopefully the rain does stay away, though, because I'd like to see both of these offenses in the men's game be able to play to their full potential. And the officials' timeout. Hang on. Are they going to... I did hear correctly, there was an officials' timeout?
That's right.
They want to talk more about this. I think they're actually utilising. I joked about them using the replay here. They might actually be using it up here. Dave Hodkinson now is going to be earning his money up in the booth.
Really tricky
They're all
to tell.
looking at me for a call. I don't get to make a call here. The whole Rhino sideline is looking at me. Now they're looking at the appropriate side here. They're trying to will their decision over to their side. As I said, if you're asking me, it looks like a Rhino football. Jonesy, I think you've swung to my side of things as well.
Yeah.
They're getting a side from me. But it's not my decision to make, as I will project. It is on the other booth there. But yes, this is one of the opportunities. When we do have an official in the booth, we have the opportunity to utilize the camera and replay to try and get the correct decision here. And how about this? I am getting it in my comms that it looks like it will be a Raven ball.
You swayed me, Kenny.
I swayed you. You were right. You should have backed yourself. And we're taking a look. What they're claiming is here, whilst it hits Devries, it's then hit the pursuing Rhinos player there. So thus making it a live ball, of which well and truly was recovered.
What we've heard is that it's gone past Devries, but in my second watch, it looked like it actually hit Devries' arm. So it's a difficult call. I mean, it's great that we have this tool. We should utilize it in situations like this. This is still a live game. I mean,
and it is. So
it's going to make a big difference.
Coming back on the field is the Ravens offense after that's been sorted out.
Big drive for the Ravens.
Different formation look for the Ravens. Saxby looking over the middle for Devries. Oh, he had him! He had him and he would have been gone. The pass falls off his hands.
Saxby, beautiful throw. Eyes off the safety, buys time. Devries wide open.
Had him on a string right there. He had the safety over the top, so probably wasn't a surefire touchdown, but was certainly going to be a first down.
And when they're watching film, they're not going to be happy with that one.
That being said, if I saw Uger over the top, I'd probably be tempted to drop the pass too.
I might be the same. I wouldn't tell Tommy Corwin that though.
I was going to say, I don't know about it, mate. I've seen you bring in some tough catches before. Third down. Sorry, 3 receivers. My apologies. Second down. Saxby, good pocket presence. He's flying it. He's lost a lot of power, and it's intercepted by the Rhinos. He's down the left-hand sideline. Will be eventually taken out of bounds. That is Riley Dix with the intercept.
Rhinos sideline pumped.
It was a great look, but I think his arm runs out of gas.
Yeah, that's tricky. I'm not sure if Saxby always has that sidearm motion. He's kind of come in low and then.
I think you're right, and you're a former quarterback, mate. You'll be able to break this down better than I could. But it just looks like he does a good job climbing the pocket, but does he properly step into that?
It just looked like quite a low release. Maybe he felt that pressure from the defensive end coming on the outside. But yeah, it didn't have the arm in that situation.
First down now for the Rhinos, so maybe that's. Well, in their eyes, they believe that's just a serve. They truly believe they didn't need to give up that ball. Here goes Inoki. Look at the shifty feet by the man.
He's got moves.
Just shuffle. Every day he's shuffling.
Oh, he's dancing out there.
Look at him go. Just chop.
I'm not sure if he's 18, but might see him in the Valley later tonight. After, if they win, maybe even if they lose.
Oh, it's always a good time when you run into Mike Jones in the streets, mate. It's been a while since I've done that. We've both grown up since then, mate.
Yeah, I haven't been into the Fortitude Valley for a long time.
And what's going to happen here? False start or encroachment? Wait for the official call.
Looks like a false start to me.
False start indeed it is. So it'll be 5 yards against the Rhinos. They'll move them back to 2nd and 7. Let's look at the far side now. Both Ravens and Rhinos men's teams are warming up.
It's good to see Jack Lowe back in the game after that shoulder injury early in the first half.
The trains passing by, the frequent sound here at Franklin Oval, and also at the Stingrays field as well. Here we go. Bradford passes off to Inoki. Inoki tripped up in the backfield. Pursuit's still there. He's still staying upfield. It takes the entirety of the Ravens defense to take him down. They do take him down for a loss though. Flags on the field.
And that's what we spoke about earlier when trying to stop that outside run. They get to the outside, allow the inside players to get in there, make a play. Even if it's 6 or 7, that's what you want.
Well, Ravens defense won there, but will it be negated by a penalty? There's 2 penalty markers down on the field. Connor Ellis is having a chat. I have to keep stopping myself from saying Jack Capewell, who for 5 years wore the number 52 in the Colts division for the Ravens. Now wearing it in the senior division. Only 4 players in Ravens history to wear number 52, mate. Can you guess the first one, mate?
Christian McCarty?
No, Lachlan McIntyre.
Wow, that's going back a long way. He played quarterback back when I first started. Jeez. And his brother Callum McIntyre, I can't remember what number he was.
He was in there somewhere as well, but then it was worn by James Muddy Melseed. And then worn by Jack Capewell, and now it's been passed down to Ellis. So some really famous names wearing the 52 for the Ravens Colts. Lachlan McIntyre, an All-Australian quarterback. Back in the day, he was the guy for quite some time.
Great quarterback. Won a national championship with Lachlan.
And hang on, apparently it looks like it is going for the Rhinos. They've got an automatic first here. Let's see if I get any comments in my ears about what that was actually for. Sounds like it was a USC, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Ravens. Ellis on a blitz. He'll be picked up nicely. Bradford throws long. He's got him. Touchdown, Rhinos. Knocky, corner of the end zone. The first offensive touchdown of the day.
And that's that backside bench concept they've already run a few times. And this time they hit deep on the corner.
How key was it there that the blitz from Ellis was picked up early enough? Good job from Bradford just to feel the pressure, just shuffle out to the left and let it fly.
He looked calm and poised in the pocket. Just slowly, he kept his poise, finds the open man. And you couldn't ask anything else in that situation.
Looks like they will forego the field goals. Harkness is going to attempt the 2-point conversion. Bradford fakes, throws to Crawford. Crawford will be taken down there from Liam Bashford-Jones. They shut down the 2-point conversion. The score remains 13-0 in favour of the home side, Brisbane Rhinos.
Defense flies up there off the edge, contains the outside. Great play by Bashford-Jones.
And the leader of the team, 19-year-old Bashford-Jones. And we'll take another opportunity to shout out to this week's major sponsor, the Sporting Globe. You can find them at Westfield, Chermside. Check out their grand final deals, sportingglobe.com.au/grand final.
So we've got a little update here in the men's division from Big Ray Doherty. The Stingrays are up 16-7 against the Raptors in the second quarter. So
how about that? That's
looks like it's a tight one.
Over in D-Bay. Raptors defending home turf.
I think that was an interesting one to follow up on this one. I'm hoping Big Ray keeps sending through some updates. If you're listening, Ray.
Last year, the Stingrays had a slow start to the year. Obviously, we know how that ended. But the Raptors, if they can, obviously, it sounds like there's a long way to go in that game. But if the Raptors can pull off the upset here, they'll be the first time that they get a victory over the Stingrays in their history, their short history.
You got to make the most of all those opportunities for all those guys. This is the biggest game right now for them. So
absolutely.
Back to the important game right now, the one in front of us.
Drac Crawley just got tackled for a loss. He's back to kick off. Back deep to return, Retchford and DeVries. This is a good kickoff. It's going to go on the full to DeVries. DeVries scored a touchdown last week. Can he add to that tally? We've got a block in the back from Quinn. And no flags on the field, though. Nicely scrubbed that. Now it is being thrown. DeVries takes that back to the 27-yard line, but if I could see it, I'm sure the referees could.
Well, it looks like Braden Quinn, number 89, should be top right of the screen. Blocks someone in the back.
Well, if you can't see him, you'll see the guy who went flying. I think we did just then. And we'll take a look on a wide shot here. Let's see if we can see it, but I saw it pretty clearly from our commentary position. Right there. There it is.
And that's a coach killer for any special teams. That's simple football. Just block the numbers in front of you, and that's it.
The good news is they didn't bust it for a big return there. That would have been more painful.
That's always That's when you lose your hair or you start going grey.
Indeed.
Ravens really running out of time here. They need to get this offense going. And it looks like they've kind of pulled away from this quick screen game and they're going to the drop back passing.
Well, they're going to need to because they need points in a hurry, don't they?
That's right.
I think you could probably continue with that when it was a 7-point lead. Down 2 scores now. You need to start pushing this ball vertical. Saxby, that's exactly what he does. Throws a vertical. Unfortunately, no receiver anywhere near it. Closest was Devries. Devries read inside and Saxby's thrown outside, so a bit of miscommunication there between the 2 offensive players.
I'm not sure if it's an option route or miscommunication in the huddle. Sometimes in those situations there's that quarterback receiver read where they're eyeing off the defense.
Hold the phone. It looks like there is a penalty marker on the field and it could be for roughing the passer. I think they might have made the call. Let's see if they go back to it. I think I saw a roughing the passer call.
Looks like Devries high-fiving people, so...
Well, I think he's already made the signal and he's knocking up in the book there. Maybe Justin Burke will try to tell us here on the inside sideline. There's the kickoff from Elliott. But it looks like that's the case because the Ravens have been marched up the field at first down. Well, good news for the Ravens. An earlier penalty from the block in the backfield is negated by this one now. They get an opportunity to march up the field free of charge. Saxby looking downfield. Throwing for Devries once more. Back shoulder fade. Can't complete it.
In that situation, that's not the throw you want to be going to. That's a 3-on-1 against Devries. The Rhinos now understand that that's the main number 1 receiver. You need to start finding ways to get the other receivers into this game.
Exactly. You run Devries inside, draw a safety with him, throw to another guy, but of course that's easier said than done.
You're right, Kenny. But if you're in that 3-by-1, if you have 3 players marking your number 1, that means there's a guy open somewhere else.
And this will be a handoff to Ellis now. Ellis, the usual linebacker, moonlighting at running back. He runs heavy, but the defense is just as physical. They keep it to a minimal gain. 2nd and 9 up, heading after a 1-yard carry there from Connor Ellis.
Connor Ellis runs so hard. Gets low, that initial contact, he fights through that, gets a few extra yards. He's had a great game. Really impressed with what I've seen from Ellis.
He's a long-time Colt now, obviously been trained by his brother Tristan as well. Tristan, as I mentioned last week, feels like he's just a more athletic version of himself. 3rd and long.
Got a reverse.
Devries, he'll have to turn it up the field quickly. He's taken down. There's too many Rhinos. That won't be enough. And that will bring up a 4th down. Let's see how desperate the Ravens are feeling.
That Rhinos defense keys it early and they're all flying to the ball. Jack Lowe's in there, a few other guys.
Joshua Joseph as well. Also coming in with heavy hits was Nelson Inoki, I think.
Now, I know you spoke about the Ravens punt team running a few fakes last week. I know it's a little predictable right now to run it in this situation, but wouldn't surprise me if we saw one.
Well, they don't have quarterback Saxby in there. It is Higgins, so it'll be a kick over the returner's head. Once again, taking a friendly bounce. Christie is going to hustle a muscle in case it veered toward the end zone, but another one. Hey, that's 2 inside 20 punts there for Vincent Higgins.
Great result. Now you need the defense to come up there, make a big play, cause a takeaway.
Intercept. Fumble. And we'll take a quick ad break as the 2 teams swap possession. Be back shortly.
Welcome back. Kenny's just gone to get a drink of water. A big run stop there in the center. And this is just where the Rhinos are going to go down there, try kill the clock, end this game. If they can run the rest of this game out, that'll be it. The Ravens are really going to have to get in there and make a big play. It looks like we're under 4 minutes. 2 receivers to the left.
As we come back now, it's taking a carry and a good tackle there from Garrard. On the carry, number 60, who's not on our team list. Sorry, mate. That's the El Presidente. Nigel Law is in the building. So we've got to stop ripping on him now. Jonesy, we haven't talk about his huge biceps or anything like that. 13-0. Fourth quarter. Rhinos in command and now in possession. Rolling out right is Bradford. He's looking for Walters. Walters tried to reel it in with his left hand. Oh, mate. I think that might be twice he's lost the catch to it. Might need to bring in that second hand with some of these throws, Walters. Some of these catches, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, Bradford puts it in perfect spot.
Having a solid game today, Bradford. Obviously has the intercept to his name, but...
That's right, but he's gone down there, he's led the offense, he's done everything the quarterback needs to do to get the win. The result followed through.
Well, the Ravens need a huge play here. It's fourth down, just under 3 minutes remaining. Clock is stopped thanks to the incomplete pass. They're sending the punt unit out. Can they get a block here? That'd be huge. Rhinos will punt. It'll get this punt away. DeVries, the danger man. He's back to return. He's got a little bit of space. What's he going to do with it? He's looking down the left-hand sideline. He's picked up a block, and eventually the contact is made by Jack Lowe and company. That'll put the Ravens in territory, in good territory. Let's see what they can do with it, but they need to score quickly.
I mean, I'd really hope they utilise some of these other receivers, the running back and the drop-back passing game. If I'm a coach for the Rhinos, I'm thinking DeVries, that's the number one guy. You take him away, you take away the Ravens' offense. So it'll be interesting to see what Chapman does here if he is the offensive coordinator. I'm not. You might know a bit. He is.
We got a tight 2x2 set here. Let's see if they look to Higgins, who's got a lot of space. No, it'll be a run to Rechford. Rechford
great cut.
The left foot there and drives forward. It's a good jump cut though. Got him past the first wave of defenders.
Exactly how it's done. He just puts that foot in the ground, turns it upfield. Couldn't do it any better than that.
Lights, and that might bring us to the 2-minute warning. So the clock on this screen is almost there. 2 minutes left in this week 2 matchup. Rhinos holding on to a 13-point lead here. At this point now, the Ravens would not only need to score now, but would likely have to go straight to a onside kick on the ensuing kickoff. Saxby, Rechford. They try to sell a draw. Rechford takes it inside. I don't know if he got enough for a first. They'll need to show a bit of urgency here. Last week when they had the drive going towards the end of the game against the Stingrays, they just were more importantly trying to focus on getting the play out. Didn't show a lot of urgency getting back to the huddle, but that was when it was a 30-point game. This is 13 points here. You have a legit chance. So
it's such a tricky situation for Chapman as well. The passing game hasn't really been effective for the Ravens as yet. You know, that could change right now. So puts you in a bit of a bind. 3rd and short.
DeVries Walters, 1-on-1, far side of the screen. They'll toss it out to Rechford. He'll try to use his speed. Gets past the first defensive lineman and Connor Steele, but eventually taken down.
Now that puts Chapman in the situation he's got to pass now.
And not only that, they've used a timeout. By my count, that's left them with one. They used one earlier in the half. So And while we take a time out, we'll also take the time to thank our major sponsor this week, the Sporting Globe at Westfield Chermside. Just one look at those menus will make your mouth waters. Check out their deals at sportingglobe.com.au. A grand final, plenty of grand finals coming up, plenty of good opportunities to visit the Sporting Globe and see what they have to offer. And while we're at it, big thank you to Impact Sports as well. You looking for shut gear? Hit up Richard Gill at sales at impactsportsaus.com. Back to live picture now. Players still in the huddle from their timeout. Now tell me, Jonesy, situation here. Are you looking end zone or are you looking first down?
I'm looking end zone. I'm going for it. Right now, you need to score right now. It's a 2-score game. Get creative with your passing game. It can't be DeVries just doing a go or a post route. We need a double move, potentially with DeVries, with someone coming, another receiver coming over the backside. We'll see what they do. Maybe.
If you're the Rhinos here, are you still in a blitz, giving up the first down if necessary, and just protecting the end zone? We're about to see. Only 2 down linemen, that's all they send. Everyone else is in coverage. They're going to go for DeVries one-on-one. Walters picks it off. He's undercut the ball. Now he's going downfield with a couple of blockers in tow. He beats the tackle of the offensive lineman. Eventually will be stopped there, but that, ladies and gentlemen, should be the ball game with less than a minute remaining.
DeVries runs a corner out from the outside position, and it looks like he turns up. So I'm not sure if it was actually a double move or a corner out, and there was miscommunication with Saxby.
Almost looks like a chair out there, doesn't it?
I was a little confused.
Well, if Saxby puts a little more meat in that throw, he gets into the back of the end zone, touchdown.
That's right.
Nonetheless, I mean, good jump there from Walters.
I keep talking about the Ravens offense, but this Rhinos defense has just been outstanding tonight.
In the first game, looks like they'll open their season 1-0 coming off the bye in week 1. Ravens currently 0-1. Short of a miracle right now.
Just need the running back to hold on the ball, close this game out.
And it's not be too far away from taking knees, I'd imagine.
Great way to start the season for these guys. I'm super impressed. Like I've said multiple times, they're playing really good football. I mean, this early in the season as well. I mean,
they look clinical. I mean, obviously plenty of stuff to cover up, but I think they know who they are right now. They're running what they run. So good job to Samuel Harkness for getting his boys ready, and also defensive coordinator Jesse Steele. Speaking about defense, Liam Bashford-Jones in a losing side has had a fantastic game. That is his second hit in the backfield today.
Off the edge, he comes flying up. It's such a difficult block. And that you notice the left guard there. Oh, that might be
the end of the game. So the Ravens, last year's Sun Bowl runners-up, they fall to 0-2, and the Rhinos, they open the account with a victory, moving to 1-0 here in week 2. There's your Victoria side on screen right now. So a big win to the Rhinos, who went 5-5 last year, just missed out on the playoffs. They also had a hard victory, 32-6 last year in Week 10 against the Ravens. Last time the two teams met, but right now they look like they're a team who, based on this Week 2 performance, could be in the playoff run in the back end of the season. Jones, your thought?
Defensively, both teams played really well, but honestly, really impressed with what the Rhinos did. For me, it was super impressive that this was their first game. And the Ravens have a lot of work to do on offense. Personally, that's my own opinion. Defense is looking a lot better. So,
well, they're both meeting in Mendlefield for their handshakes now. Canales leading the Ravens out. And look, it's early part of the season. There's still 10 weeks to go for both of these sides, and a lot of improvement can be made during that time. That was your first matchup of 2 today here on Gridiron Queensland TV. Your Bayside Ravens visiting the Brisbane Rhinos, where the Rhinos have ran out victors at 13-0.